friends, welcome back to my channel, Planty Princess 92. My name's Ashley, and in today's video I have a really neat different kind of video for you guys today. I found 6 fun plant related facts of plants that are currently holding some type of world record or some type of like the world's largest, the world's rarest, things along those lines. But before we get into that, I wanted to mention at 100 subscribers, if you guys saw one of my more recent videos, I mentioned that I will be doing a small giveaway with 2 winners. But aside from that, today I decided to do another giveaway, which I will continue to do periodically as my channel grows, as we go on through this journey together. But I just wanted to show a little appreciation to one of my subscribers who was always watching my videos, always commenting, and always chatting back and forth with me. So I appreciate a new planty friend. So ELIZABETH GRECO-NIEVES, sorry if I butchered that by any means, but I have this Hoya elliptica propagation that I cut the tip off after I made that video, and I'm rooting it in water with Newt and Super Thrive. So I wanted to give this to you because I know we talked about how you wanted one of these but had just placed a few international orders that you were waiting on, so you were going to hold off. So I hope that you will accept this cute little plant. And when you see this, private message me on Instagram so we can arrange for me to get this to you. So it's currently rooting very nicely. The tip did have 3 leaves, but it had 1 new leaf that, kind of fell off. And that tends to happen when, when you cut something and then it starts to focus its energy on the roots. But it has 2 nice, healthy leaves and some really nice, healthy roots growing in there. So it's just a small little something, but I wanted to continue to, spread the appreciation and thank everybody for, all the support that I'm continuing to get and hopefully will continue to get in the future. Like I said, periodically I will be picking a, aside from the giveaways that I'm going to do at whatever level of subscribers I gain, I will be picking a subscriber periodically to send a little gift to. So let's get into the video. Now, if you see me looking down, I am looking at a couple key points that I had written here on my laptop. Obviously, I can't retain 6 paragraphed facts of the world's most, biggest, whatever. So when you see me glancing down, I'm just checking out my key points on my laptop. So our first fun fact is the fastest growing plant. So I'm sure, as you guys know, bamboo, here in the States, we have something that is called lucky bamboo. It's usually in a stack of 5 or 7. And they're normally like in rocks, growing hydroponically, semi-hydroponically. But that is the fastest growing plant. So there are well over 1,000 species, but the world record belongs to a certain species of the 45 genre of bamboo, which can shoot up to a height as tall as a 10-story building in as little as 8 weeks. That is extremely fast. Aside from that, they've been found to grow up to 35 inches a day. So as you can imagine, bamboo can be like quite a crazy amusement park for panda bears, jumping from, it's like they're holding on, and as they're holding on, it's like the amusement park ride that just shoots up real fast and then brings you back down, except this doesn't come back down. So that is the world's fastest growing plant. Now, of course, as I'm referring to the lucky bamboo, it's not the lucky bamboo. It's like the actual bamboo. I just referred to lucky bamboo because that's what we all, most of us are familiar with. Now, next I have the flower with the world's largest single bloom. It's a flower known as the Rafflesia arnoldi. It's also known as the corpse flower due to its extremely repulsive smell when it's in bloom. It tends to smell like a rotting meat or, you know, just really, really yucky. But it only smells like that when it's in bloom. So it's not constantly letting off that odor. And it actually lets off that odor to attract flies, and that's what it prefers to pollinate it, flies. That's kind of interesting as well, actually. So aside from being the largest single blooming flower, it also holds the title for one of the smelliest, as I just mentioned. This rare flower is found in the rainforests of Indonesia, growing up to 3 feet in diameter and weighing up to 15 pounds. That is like a huge flower. The weight of that is that of like a small dog. Can you picture a bloom, a flower that is like this round and weighs the weight of a small puppy? That's a heavy flower. Anyways, this is a parasitic plant with no visible leaves, roots, or stem. So that's also another interesting fact about this unique flower. I will place a picture of it right here so you guys can check out what that looks like. Now that we discussed the largest plant, here is the smallest plant. It is the Wolffia spp, also known as watermeal. This plant is a member of the duckweed family, which contains some of the simplest flowers, but are all the plants in this family are relatively very small. The plant itself averages from 1/42 of an inch long and 1/85 of an inch wide, which is about the size of one candy sprinkle. That is so tiny. And again, I will insert a picture here so you can kind of see what that looks like. It weighs as little as 190,000 of an ounce, which is equal to the weight of 2 grains of table salt. So now if that gives you a picture of how small this plant is, there you go. Being the smallest plant in the world and a fruiting plant at that, it also holds the title for producing the smallest fruit in the world, which I will also insert a picture to show you what that fruit kind of looks like. The fruit is called a utricle, and this plant is found in freshwater lakes and marshes with various species worldwide. So since it has no roots, it just kind of floats along the top of the water. Here's another really interesting fact that I came across. So if there ever is a plant with no leaves that does not photosynthesize, of course it would be an orchid. So this plant is called the ghost orchid, which its name suits it very well because it has no leaves and does not photosynthesize. So it's kind of like just disappears in the wind, and where it gets its energy from, it just sucks it up from, you know, the trees or whatever it is, whatever its host is. So as I mentioned, this plant is the ghost orchid, which I will insert a picture right here so you can check out what that looks like. Also known as the Dendrophylax lindenii, which is its scientific name. It's considered to be extremely rare because it is nearly impossible to propagate, being it has no leaves and does not depend on photosynthesis or create its own energy. Or not its own energy. It doesn't create its own food. It requires a very specific host tree to grow and perfect conditions to flower. So because it requires that very specific things, that's what makes it so hard to propagate, which makes, you know, not very many of them around worldwide. It makes it very hard for us to propagate in captivity. Captivity, that's for animals, isn't it? In cultivation, that would be more appropriate. In cultivation. So the rarest flower in the world. Now, there's a few different flowers that are considered to be the rarest. A few of them that we just spoke about being the Rafflesia arnoldii. the ghost orchid, you know, and that's just to name a few. But if we are thinking of rare as in population wise, then the middle mist red camellia would definitely be the rarest. Now this is because there's only two known locations, two known examples of this flower in the entire world. One is located in a greenhouse in New Zealand, and the other is in the Chiswick House in the United Kingdom. This flower was originally brought from to England from China in 1804 by John Middlemist, and he gifted it to the Kew Gardens, where it mysteriously disappeared decades later. Another one eventually bloomed at a greenhouse in the United Kingdom, which is the Chiswick House, and now that is one of the only two still existing in the entire world. Last but not least, we have the most valuable flower. So during the 1600s, so the 17th century, tulips were so valuable in Holland that the bulbs were worth more than gold. Can you imagine a flower bulb being worth more than gold? So here we are, not going to the pawn shops to, you know, give our gold and melt it down and get paid. We're showing up with exotic tulip bulbs by the weight. So the Dutch society went crazy over these exotic tulip bulbs. This craziness was called tulip mania, and actually caused the crash of the Dutch economy. As the prices rose on this exotic flower bulb, people would go and spend an entire year's salary in hopes that they would be able to resell them and make some profits. So not much has changed from them because our plant community is still often pretty similar. Our prices are still high on some of the plants that are rare or in demand. And you know, people still buy and resell. That's just the way life works. But to have a flower or a flower bulb that is worth more than gold is just extremely insane. I can't even fathom that that was ever a thing. That's so interesting. So I hope these 6 facts were something that interests you. I know when I came across them, I couldn't believe some of the things that I found. So if you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested in the content I provide. And as always, every plant's a princess.